All right, this is a review over radical expressions, and then on the back side we do polynomials, so like the FOIL method and multiplying and adding and doing all that good stuff, okay? So let's start with radical expressions up at the top here. It is good to know the numbers that come out as perfect squares. So like 1 squared is 1, 2 squared is 4, 3 squared is 9, 4 squared is 16, 5 squared is 25, 6 squared is 36, 7 squared is 49, 8 squared is 64, 9 squared is 81, 10 squared is 100, 11 squared 121, 12 squared is 144, etc. Okay, so keeping those numbers in mind. Now, when you're dealing with variables, like the square root of x squared comes out nicely. It is just x. The square root of x to the 4th power comes out nicely. It is just x squared. The square root of x to the 6th power comes out nicely. It is just x to the 3rd, okay? Now, if I'm doing x to the 4th, what goes in this spot? X to the 8th. If I'm doing x to the 5th power, it is x to the 10th. So, unlike numbers up here, like what we did in this spot, the variables, when you're dealing with the exponents, you just double them, right? Like x to the 5th, if I take him times himself, x to the 5th, that makes x to the 10th. X to the 4th times x to the 4th makes x to the 8th, etc., right? So exponents must be what in order to have perfect squares? Even. They must be even numbers, right? So 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, those numbers come out perfectly. If it's an odd number, it's not going to come out perfectly as a square root, okay? All right, so let's go down here and let's deal with one of these. Pick 1, 2, 3, 4, or let's do 1, 2, 3, or 4. Pick one of those guys.
1.
1?
Yep.
Sure. We want to break him down, which means don't give me a decimal when you do your calculator. We want to break him down like we do here. We did one of these yesterday.
Oh, it's like 3 and 6.
3 and 6, but you can't take the square root of 3 and you can't take the square root of 6.
9 and 2.
9 goes in here and 2 goes in here. So then we do the square root of each one. What is the square root of 9? 3 and the square root of 2?
Square root of 2.
Just stays the square root of 2. That's what the square root of 18 breaks down to be. Do you want time to do 2, 4, 6 or 2, 3, 4?
What's 125? I don't know how I get that high. Like 10 and 25.
No. 10 and 25 is 250.
Yep, I know.
Try again.
2.5.
You had one of your numbers right.
10.
Huh.
2.5.
10 does not go into 125. It's got to end in 0.
25 and 4, 5.
What?
25.
25 and 5.
I said
Okay. Now figure out what that becomes. Okay. Keep a going.
72 would be.
Think
that number.
big. Think big.
36 and 36.
36 and 2. Yep. 36 and 2. If you do 9 and 8, it will break down more, but think 36 and 2 on 72. Okay, you always want to think the biggest one possible.
Woohoo! Oh, wait. 18 and 10. But you can't.
You can't take the square root of 18, can't take the square root of 10.
Can you take the square root of 98?
9,
I'm thinking on number
9 and 8.
30.
9
4,
and 8.
you use the same number as number
On
3.
3. On 3, it could be 9 and 8.
But 8 will break down more. So use a bigger number than 9, right?
It won't break down more.
8 will break down to 4 and 2. So you want to go bigger than 9 on number 3.
Stupid.
Does 36 go into 180 or 4? Do you use that number?
It's like 5. Oh, it is 5.
Yeah, it's 5.
What about 5?
36 and 5.
Do we do that one?
No.
We'll do like number 7. How about we do that?
Oh, okay.
Should we do 7 together? And then we'll do like 8
It's
together maybe?
A squared and then A.
Yeah.
So A square root of A.
Yeah.
What? How do you do it?
Okay, number 7, 6, and 5 are all kind of the same. Let's do number 7 because it's the biggest one. Okay, still the same way as what we did before. We want to break him down, and you only ever will hang one of them off over here. This is m to the 1st power, which means how many goes in the bubble? 10. So this is m to the 10th, and another m makes m to the 11th, right? But what is the square root of m to the 10th power?
M to the 5th.
M to the 5th, that comes out. And what's the square root of m to the first power?
M square root of M.
Just the square root of m, so he stays on the
wouldn't that
inside. You
be-
see how that works?
Wouldn't that be just M?
What do you mean?
It is just M.
It's just m, yeah. You can either put the first power on it or not, okay? So that's what 5, 6, and 7 are like, okay? That's what he is equal to, yeah, 5, 6, and 7
so,
done?
wait.
What? What's up?
Hold up. How do you do this? Can we do 6?
6, how many are you gonna hang off?
6 and 1, right?
6 and 1, what's the square root of b to the 6th?
B
With 5, I got A square root.
b to the 3rd, you just divide it by 2, right? Okay, so tell me what you have as an answer.
B to the 3rd and square root of B.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Yeah, and 5 is the same way, but it's 3 instead of 7 and 11. Okay? All right, 8, 9, 10, those are a combination of the two. Which one would you like to see?
No, 8.
10 probably has a trickier number, maybe. Should we do 10?
Let's do
10, let's do 10. Okay, here's how I do these. Ready? The square root of 32, the square root of a to the 7th, the square root of b to the 4th. You break them all down and then you shove them all back together. Okay? So 32, numbers that break down into 32. It would be 8 and 4, but think bigger than that.
32, no.
16.
16 and 2, right? Okay? So, square root of 16 and the square root of 2, that becomes 4.
4
Square roots of 2, 4 square roots of 2. Okay, now let's go with a to the 7th power. You
A
only
to the
ever
4th,
hang off
A to the 3rd.
1. You only ever hang off 1.
1.
So 6 and 1.
So 3.
The square root of a to the 6th is a to the 3rd, and the square root of a just stays. Right?
B to the 4th.
Okay.
B to the 1st.
B to the 3rd. Or just square root.
B to the second.
Or would it be B to the
B to
second
the
instead
4th?
of B to the second?
b to the 4th, you don't have to split. He comes straight out, right? What's the square root of b to the 4th?
B to the second.
b to the 2nd, you don't have to hang anything off, right? Because he comes out perfectly. So he has nothing else trapped underneath. So don't get tricked by that. All right, now let's put it all back together. So what's on the outside?
Squared down.
4 A squared B 4.
4a cubed, b what?
B squared.
B squared.
B squared, yeah.
That's what it
4a to the 3rd b squared. Okay, underneath is
2A.
2a. Okay? We just put all this stuff. That 4a to the 3rd b squared is on the outside. The 2 and the a are underneath, and that's how he works, okay? All right, you want time to do the other two? There we go.
What's 9 times 3? Isn't that 27?
Yep.
So realistically, every number in the square root should have an exponent of
Let's
1.
go weight.
Really? Yeah. Every variable should have an exponent of 1 in the square root. Yes, exactly. That's a good observation.
No, my cube.
You're talking like Greece.
You can't take square root of 15, can you?
What?
What do you
No.
do with 50?
75.
15.
He's doing 5 and 75. That's not the right combination. Think of quarters.
6,
25 and 3.
3, and
You break
25.
Y down again on number 8.
What? Can you what?
You break Y down again on number 8.
You want me to break the y down on number 8?
Wait,
You'll have to hang one off.
Yeah, and then you get y to the 4.
So that becomes
Y to the 6.
y to the second.
I
Yep. What?
messed up.
Oh, you guys are already doing so much better with this than we did the first time around.
But
I
notice
would
how
say
we
here.
don't remember it?
What?
Notice-
But you're doing this a lot better than you did the first time around.
Because you taught it better this time.
What?
You taught it better this time.
I taught it weird this time?
No,
You
better.
taught it better.
Please.
I
teach it
didn't
the same
understand it last
every
time, I
single
understand it
time.
now.
For
Yeah,
real.
sure
I
you
teach
do.
it the same every single time. Every single time.
Not this time.
Okay. All right, 11, 12. What do you want to see? Which
8.
one?
Oh.
The hardest.
12.
Okay.
12. How many pieces are there?
3.
3.
Too many.
Okay, you can only add them together if they have the same thing underneath of the square root. So one of the square roots is 28, one of the square roots is 7, one of the square roots is 63.
You can break them all down.
But you can break them down except for the 7 in the middle. So let's break down 28 and let's see if he...
4
4
and 7.
and 7. So the square root of 4 is 2. The square root of 7 just stays, except there's already a 2 out in front.
So you just combine it into 4.
Okay, so you combine the 2 and the 2, and that makes 4 square roots of 7. Okay? What? We just broke the 28 down.
So can you cancel off those square
And then
roots
we-
of 7?
No, just wait.
Why?
Okay, 4 square roots of 7 minus the square root of 7. Okay, we've got to break the 63 down again like we did the 28. So
9 and 5.
9 and 7, of course. The square root of 9 and the square root of 7 makes 3 square roots of 7, except there is a 6 there, but you're not adding, you are multiplying. So this makes plus 18 square roots of 7. So 4 square roots of 7 minus square root of 7 plus 18 square roots of 7. Now, it might be helpful to put a 1 in front of the square root of 7 in the middle. So what's 4 minus 1 plus 18?
4 minus 1 plus 18.
42.
21.
21 square roots of 7. It's like having an x on the end of there, like 4x minus 1x plus 18x. You're adding those.
Can you do this again? Because I no.
Okay, number 11. Just look and see what you have to break down. Number 11 is actually really a lot easier. 5, 6, and 6. What?
You just need to.
5,
So you just
6,
leave the
and 6.
5. You leave the 5, right?
How do you break down 6 and then 5?
You
Yeah.
can't.
So
So just put the ones together that you can and
Exactly,
be
that's
done
what-
with it.
Oh.
You just put the ones together that you can and be done with it. So you're going to have 2 pieces in your answer because the 5 and the 6 can't go together, but there is 2 of them that you can put together, right?
We were right.
No.
We got
The square root of 5 and the square root of 6 cannot go together. Okay?
Wait,
So
so
what
are we
should the
also.
answer be for 11?
What'd you get?
What about 13?
Square roots of 5 plus 2 square roots of 6.
That's sure. Yes.
What? You're coward.
I don't know how I did that.
Can you write that down because I didn't know.
So
What'd you get?
6 square root of 5
He can't go with anybody.
plus
So he just writes.
2
He just,
square root
these
of
2
6.
can go together. 5 minus 3 is 2.
Multiply and simplify.
Oh.
Okay? All right. 13 is multiply and simplify. Let's look at this guy first. 3 square root of 2 minus, or times the square root of 10. The square root of 2 and the square root of 10 do not have the same base on them, but you can multiply
3 times 1.
anything that you want to,
So 3 and 1.
right?
3 and 1.
So 3
3
square roots of 20. Now you need to go through and break it down. The square root of 20 will break down, so do that.
You get rid of the.
Break the 20 down, okay? Figure out what he is, okay? You do that part. That's your homework, or that's your assignment.
Homework? Okay.
Do
2 and
that
10.
one.
No.
Whatever. We
4
don't
and
care.
5.
Why would you? What?
That makes sense.
Okay?
Okay, so then it'd be.
We'll do 14 together.
6 square roots of 5. Question.
So what?
Work.
No, I'm just kidding.
You say we were doing 14 together?
Yeah, you can try it if you want to on your own.
No, it's okay. Oh my gosh. Why are they sitting there?
Oh my god.
Oh.
Can you take half of them off?
Nah, they're short, child. They're short. They're short.
Oh my
Alright,
God.
14. We gotta multiply. We can multiply them together even if they don't have the same base. We can multiply them all we want. So if I multiply those guys together, we will have the square root of what?
3x
that's
to the 6 and y to the 4th. Yeah,
Y to the 4th, okay? And then I break them down. So the square root of 3, and I have the square root of x to the 6th, and I have the square root of y to the 4th. Okay? Alright, what about the square root of 3?
Stays the same.
Yeah, there's nothing you can do but just leave him the square root of 3. What's the square root of x to the 6th?
It's the same thing.
3
X to
and
the third.
2.
It comes out perfectly. You don't have to separate him if he's an even number, right? If he's an even number, he just pulls straight out. What about the square root of y to the 4th?
Y to the second.
Just y to the 2nd, okay? So, how do you write the answer?
X.
The square y to the 2nd and the square of 3.
Like that,
Yeah, right.
okay? The stuff on the outside, stuff on the inside. Yeah, that wasn't too bad. Okay? All right, now division is the same way.
Wait, what?
You subtract the variables.
Are you
right?
confused?
Never mind.
Okay, did you get it figured out? Okay, let's do number 18 together, or excuse me, 15 together because it is longer than 16. So watch this. All right, both of those are underneath of the square root. So I'm going to combine them. I'm going to do 80x squared y over 30xy squared. Okay, I'm just going to put them all underneath of 1, and then we're going to simplify stuff. Okay.
Take the 10 out.
So take the 10s out, we can cross off a 0, right? So we have 8 on the top and 3 on the bottom, okay? And then the last thing that we do is combine the x's and the y's, okay? So I've got 8 on the top, 3 on the bottom. If I combine the x's, I have 2 on the top, 1 on the bottom, which means I have
1 on top.
1 on the top. And the y's, I have y and y squared. So I have
1 on the bottom.
1 on the bottom. And there's my square root, okay? We're just going to leave it like that. We're going to leave it like that. Okay? All right, so you do the same thing.
And you do 9 and 2, simplify 18 and 9.
Right, yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Like on the bottom, wouldn't it be 3C?
On the top, it'd be 2c.
I don't know.
No, it'd be c squared.
Or c squared.
Okay, but then the c squared will come out, right?
Yeah, and then it'd simplify more to 9, or
It'd be 2c.
just came
2c squared.
2C.
to, yeah, just c.
The 2's still underneath. Yeah, so c will come out
Where did you get a 2 underneath?
underneath of the square root.
Because
Square
you
root
do
of 2
9
and then
and
the
2,
square root of
idiot.
C 2.
Oh,
So it'll be C square root of 2.
I see.
That's a lot of c's. I see. All right, ready for the backside?
No, it's
Backside. These ones go fast.
No, they do not.
These ones go kind of fast.
What's
Okay.
curling?
So let's look at like number 2.
They equal.
And then we'll look at like number
just do
9. Let's look at
evens.
2 and let's look at 9. Okay, and we'll do those guys.
Let's
All right?
do only odds.
Nope. You can go fast. Okay.
So we're just doing 29.
Number 2. The first thing that we need to do is isolate the radical, and the radical is by himself on this side. We've got him there. He's done. Okay. How do you get rid of that radical, that square root? You square it. Right? We do the opposite of square root, which is square, and that cancels it out on this side. So what's underneath just falls down.
So it'd be 4x squared.
2x plus
Plus
15
225.
equals. No. You don't square what's underneath because it just falls out because the square root and the square cancel
Equals
each other.
36.
Equals 36. And then we just solve for x normally, right? Okay? And that means we have to first subtract 15. So 2x is equal to 21 and divide by 2, which doesn't come out nicely, but that's okay.
X equals 10.5.
10.5 is what 21 over 2 is, so you can write it like that if you want. X equals 10.5. Not too bad, right?
So you get,
Okay, these are
Wait.
really super fast,
Can
right?
you just do these for homework?
what you get
These are really super fast.
Can you just do these for homework?
Hey, wait.
What?
So you take 36 minus 15, don't you get
21.
16?
36?
Oh, just kidding. I was thinking it's 31.
31.
Yeah, okay.
Yes, 36
21.
minus 15 is 21. Yep. Okay. All right, let's do number 9 together because this is another one that's kind of weird. Okay, so on 9, you have to do something else first.
You have to cube this.
You have to subtract the 7 first to get it by itself, right? This one, the radical's not by itself. So I have the cubic root of 2x minus 1 equals 3 in this case. Okay, now what?
Cube it.
I have to cube it. I have to take it to the third power.
it's
Not the second
27.
power, it's the third power. So 2x minus 1 is equal to, Jason says 27. Okay, and then what?
Add the 1.
Add the 1 over. So 2x equals
Here's 14.
28. X is
14.
14. You betcha. See, these are really fast. Do you want some time to do the other ones?
Yes.
Can you just
What happens like on number 1 where you have a square root on both sides?
You just square both
You square
sides.
both sides and it's really just x plus 2 equals 3, right? Okay.
What about 7? Where's there? Is that 3 and from the square
That's
root?
like what we just got into doing. So instead of squaring it, you're going to cube it, right? Like what we did on number 9. You take it to the third power instead of taking it to the second power, right?
What to the third power? The 10?
So here,
What about the X?
Chase, we subtracted the 7 over first because we got to get rid of that 7, okay? Get it by itself. So now to get rid of the cubic root, we take it to the third power. So 10 minus 7 is 3, we take that to the third power, okay? To get rid of a cube, we take it to the third power, okay?
So,
I'm too smart.
what if the x is squared like on number 7?
What? Like on number what? Oh.
Then you just square root.
Yeah.
So x equals 2.
Tres más tres.
Can it be negative? Or should it always
Plus
be
and minus
positive?
3? Is that what you're talking about? On which one? What are you talking about?
3.
On 3? Can your answer be negative?
Yeah.
Sure.
Okay.
What'd you get for an answer?
X equals negative 3.
How'd you get negative 3?
Mm,
I got negative 2.
What did
What?
did you square it first?
On 3? I got 4.
Wait, yeah.
Okay, so
I got
4x plus
Oh, I
9
put-
equals 25.
How'd you get,
Oh, I was
put-
looking at 5.
I put
idiot
4.
alert!
I put
Number
24
4?
instead of 25.
What'd you get for 5, Jake? 2?
No.
Okay.
Negative.
Minus 9. Minus
Negative 2?
9.
Negative.
Yeah, I got that too now that you said that. Crazy.
Okay.
I would have had it right if I'd have done it.
What'd you
You're so mean, Jake.
I did it to everybody.
So, 25 plus...
That looks like Taft.
I told you. You shut your fat mouth.
Wait, is 5 minus 11x the same thing as... Never mind.
I should have done that the other way. Just kidding.
What'd you guys get for 6?
I'm trying to figure that one out right now, Jacob.
6, I got x equals negative 5 over 2.
I got
Billy? Don't care.
What's number 10?
What'd you get?
I don't know, it's just confusing me.
So what do you do first?
Well, I would assume
Divide by
you
3.
add over 9.
Add the 9. Okay, 3 plus 9 is
12, right?
12. Then
Divide by
For what
divide by 3, which is
X equals
4.
okay.
No. But then you got to get rid of the square root.
Okay.
And then for which number?
Multiply
6
by
left?
negative 8.
Oh.
So could you square the negative on 8? Could you square the negative
Okay,
3
that makes sense.
and then multiply?
No, you have to add the 8 over first.
So then it's 24 squared.
24. What?
24
No,
squared.
You're adding 8.
What'd you get for
You're
two?
adding 8.
Oh wait.
So it's 5 squared.
So it's 121. Oh,
What? No. No. No.
It's
5.
4.
5. 5 squared. Not 11. 5 squared.
25.
Okay, are we ready to move on to the bottom
No.
part?
Uh-huh.
Operations with polynomials. Okay. So adding or subtracting, all you're doing here is combining like terms. What?
Is this our homework?
Yeah, well, the problems that we're not doing, yeah.
Wait,
you're
what if
doing
the
that yourself,
x
this
is the
is your
only
homework.
thing squared?
What?
Never mind.
Then you just square it at the end. Okay? All right, so number 11, add or subtract. You're just combining like terms. So we have two things that you're adding together, this guy and this guy. So what we're going to do is the first piece, negative 5x minus 2, he's just chilling. But the positive gets distributed for both of these pieces. So what does a positive and a negative x together make? Minus x. What's positive and positive 6? Plus 6. So really, a positive, if you're adding, doesn't really change this last piece at all, and then we just combine like terms, right?
Wait, so you're foiling the plus?
You're foiling the plus, basically, yes, right?
So then that just makes everything positive.
Right. Well, it just leaves the sign the same. So like negative x plus 6 stays and negative x plus 6. Yeah, it's really just like it's not doing anything to it.
But if
The
it was
plus.
negative, it would change it.
Right, right. That's what we're going to do here in a second. Okay.
then we
So combining like terms, we've got negative 5x and minus x.
Negative 6x.
No, no. Negative
minus
6x,
4.
negative 2 and positive 6,
Plus 4.
plus 4. That's it. We've combined like terms.
Is that it?
Okay?
We done with that
Yep,
problem?
that one's done.
Wait, if... Just kidding.
Okay? Now number 12 though, what are you doing to those two things?
You're turning them into negative.
You're
Subtracting them.
subtracting them. So we've got to do this guy.
Makes everything negative.
No.
Makes everything, not makes everything negative, it makes everything the opposite sign, right?
Yes, James.
So negative 6x to the third, he stays, plus 5x minus 3, that does not change. But the 2x cubed becomes negative 2x cubed. The 4x squared becomes negative 4x squared. Yeah, plus 3x minus 1. Everything switches sign, and then we combine like terms. Okay?
I see
So, what's the highest power?
negative 8x cubed. What?
Negative 6x cubed minus 2x cubed is negative 8x cubed, and I'm going to cross them off. Okay, and then we have x squareds. We only have one of those.
Yeah, 4.
So minus 4x squared. Done? Okay, how many x's?
1, 2.
5 and 3
But positive 5 and positive
makes
positive
8x. And minus 3 minus 1?
Minus 4.
Minus 4, there we go. Okay, all done, all right? So do 13, 14. We'll move on to the next section.
So positives do nothing.
Right.
Okay.
So you can just combine whatever it is already. So 13, I wouldn't even rewrite that thing. 14 I would rewrite, but at 13 I wouldn't even rewrite. Because you're just adding.
Oh yeah, I missed that number.
All right, we ready for multiply?
No.
Getting close.
I think the chemicals off the spray paint is making me lightheaded because it smells so strong still. I don't know how I can
When did you do it?
Yesterday.
Yesterday.
It's kind of potent.
Out in the ag barn, or did you at home?
Wow.
Oh.
We get to work today.
We do.
Yeah.
Darn it, this gives me here. I want him to be gone. So you.
What about me?
I want you to be gone.
Well,
Yes. You're annoying like this.
what? Huh?
All right, ready? Let's
Yeah.
do 15. What are you doing with 15? You're multiplying.
Distribute the negative 3x
Yep,
squared.
that's exactly right. Okay,
Negative
so
18x squared and positive 5 or 6x to the third.
yep, that's it. That's all. That's all, because we can't combine into
All
like
it
terms,
is.
so that's it. Okay. Let's do like number 19 together.
17.
Nope.
Okay.
17's easy. 17's a FOIL.
Yep.
So you can do that. But 19. How many terms is in the first bubble?
2.
2. How many in the second bubble?
3.
3. So how many pieces will we have before we start putting stuff together?
5.
What? Let's do this. Yep. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We'll have 6 things to multiply together. Okay. So first, we multiply the 4x squared times 6x squared, which is
24x to the 4th.
24x to the 4th, because we add the exponents, right? Okay. Then we take 4x squared times 9x, which is positive 36 x to the 3rd. Okay, then last thing we take 4x squared times negative 3, which is negative 12x squared. Okay, now we start over, but this time we use negative 2 times 6x squared, negative 12x squared. Okay, negative 2 times 9x, negative 18x, and negative 2 times negative 3 plus 6. Okay, now we combine like terms. So x to the 4th, this is the only one, so it's 24x to the 4th. Okay, how many x to the 3rds?
2, 1.
1, so it's just 36x to the 3rd. Okay, negative 12 and another negative 12. You said negative 24x squared. So those two guys can get put together. Minus 18x plus 6, that's all you can do, right? That's it.
Wait,
Okay.
let me see that. Hey.
Okay. All right, you do the other ones for homework. And anything else that we didn't already get done on this page, that's for your homework. And you've got quite a bit of time left, so there you go. I'm going to stop the video. Maybe.
Jake should
Maybe.
be back tomorrow.
Maybe, there you go.